Okay, starting the stream now. Afternoon, guys. So, thank you for sticking with me if you have done so. If not, welcome to my channel on repairing my friend's Samsung S10 Plus. Okay, so now we come to the part two of the repair. So the first part, what I've done right is behind the scenes. While it wasn't recording, is that I actually use the microfiber cloth and just scrape off the residues of the adhesive. It's quite a messy process, but I think this will benefit later. Pardon me if this recording is flashing because I think the OBS streaming for my camera here isn't doing that well, so bear with me. Nonetheless, I will still proceed on. And this time round, all right, let me just fade to this one. So this time around, what is going to happen is that I will have to remove the screws and then basically removing the parts before disconnecting the battery and disconnecting the display or proceeding with the removal of the broken screen in the front. So this guide is very useful because at least I will know which are the screws to remove and what are things to take note of. Okay, so before we begin, make sure you have the spudger. All right, this spudger is to say remove the cables, and this one, all right, this is a flat tip screwdriver. So this to pry open the side if needed. The fitted, basically it looks like a plus sign, the fitted screw. So what I got here is the magnetic version of the screwdriver, so it's easier to just take out the screws and place it accordingly. Of course, later on, we still have the standard tools that will be mentioned on part one to remove the display. So right now, the focus is to remove the components. So it's good to have this type of mat where you can categorize your screws accordingly, so it won't get mixed up. The good thing is that Samsung phones they use the standard Phillips screws, so that you don't have to worry about the screw length. Unless let's say if the repair guide says that you need certain uh, you need a certain screw length for specific area. Not majority of the time it's quite straightforward to repair. So you can see that's also reason why it is better to actually remove the adhesive before you do this removal of components. So it will not be too much a hassle for you. You can see how disgusting it is to get this adhesive off. Alright, so the top parts has been removed. The next step is to pry open the plastic frame. You see this will need to be removed on both sides. This is the right side. And followed by the left side. From here you can see the NFC and charging coils here. I can slowly remove that side as well, but right now I'm just going to leave it like this for now because we still have to remove the bottom portion. Alright, so I'm going to proceed to remove the bottom portion first before disconnecting the battery and uh, display connector. It's kind of irritating that there are still adhesive left on the parts. Okay, so now I shall remove this side here. So now it reveals the whole motherboard here and the camera. And that's why you see you have the battery connector here. See, now the battery connector is removed. And this is the display connector. Now the display connector is removed as well. Okay, so usually my practice for screen replacements that I'll remove the motherboard as well as the battery. And gauging by this current situation, I think it is still recommended to remove the motherboard. So I shall look back at the steps on how to remove the motherboard. It's actually a video step by step. All right, so proceeding to this next step. So for this one, apparently the screws used at the bottom to secure the USB-C connector, and the screw on the top here is slightly different. So make sure that I put them accordingly. So be very careful not to mix them up. Alright, so this will actually you have to put it in and try open. The downside of this S10, as you can see, is one full piece. So if you damage any of the components, on the motherboard, you effectively have to replace the whole thing. So it's not really good, but nonetheless, it's a necessary step. One thing to note is that we have to disconnect uh, this headphone jack before we pry open the motherboard. Alright, so it's finally out. So apparently I also didn't disconnect this front-facing camera. Nonetheless, I'm just going to put it aside first now. Okay, so now what you see rending are all the top speaker, vibrator motor, headphone jack. See if you can get this off. I'll just leave it as it is. Battery, from what I know, it's very difficult to remove the battery from the frame. So I'm gonna leave it as this. However, I just have to be very careful not to overheat uh, this display, because this might cause damage to the battery. Alright, so now you can jump over to removing the display. So I also get ready the replacement display here, right beside me. So since this bottom has already been compromised, I can see there's a gap. So I guess this is probably the target area to slice in and cut through the adhesive. In case, let's say, if you do want to take reference, like where is the adhesive, right? If you buy a full set adhesive, you can actually take reference. So on here, you can see that this is actually the camera, front-facing camera portion. So it looks something like this. So basically, the adhesive is all around here. All right. And let me see if there's any other portions to it. We might even have it at the bottom. I'm not too sure about that, but let's get this repair done. Be very careful, this might shatter. Mm. It's kind of risky move. Let me see if I can heat up more, get more pieces of glass off. Apparently the adhesive is so hard on this thing. Let's see. I think what I can do is that after I apply the heat, I can try to put some isopropyl alcohol. Hopefully, you compromise the adhesive and make it easier to dismantle the the screen, because my worry is that these glass pieces. You can see it's actually very dangerous because there's a lot of shredded glass, which is why I also kept the extra layer of protector on. This to contain the shredded glass. You can see how tough the adhesive underneath it. So the reason why I put all these peaks here, these plastic peaks is so that it does not stick back when I reheat the glass, the screen glass. So do take note, there's actually a speaker grill here, which I want to reuse it later. So just take note of this. Don't lose this piece. So now you have to slice through here. So there might still adhesive under the screen. I need to heat a bit more, or put some more isopropyl alcohol. You can see how much adhesive this thing has under the screen. So anyway, this screen is already broken, so it's not really a big issue. So now we can remove this safely. It is fine. So you can see that this one, there's actually a fingerprint sensor here. And later on, during the off-screen recording, I will remove all the adhesive here. You can see it's quite a lot of spongy adhesive here. So looking at it, I think it's quite okay. Good thing there isn't too much shredded glass around. Battery seems fine as well. No sudden bloating, etc. So I think for this, blue, probably they have it at the bottom. And if you compare this original one with the replacement one, alright, so the replacement also has a fingerprint scanner. So this is how you remove the screen from the phone frame itself. It is not an easy task, which is why, let's say, if you do want to get a replacement screen and fix it by yourself, right, do get one that has a frame, which is this one, together with the replacement screen. If not, you're gonna have a very difficult time to get this parts. So I shall stop the recording or streaming here because it's going to take a while to remove all these adhesive. In fact, it's actually about the same process. You can either use isopropyl alcohol, or you can get the spudger, scrape it, or you can get the this microfiber cloth to clean it around it. Yep. So this would be a second part. So I'll show you the third part later on. Alright, I shall end this video. Bye for now.